not showing up like they're literally dead, the undead. So there's definitely life in them. I guess they're zombies in that case if they're not the literal dead. So White Walkers definitely showing signs of, that they can keep up with ReGen Black. However, I feel like they were outdrafted overall in game one. So we'll see if they can kick it into high gear for game two and show that they can draft as well as ReGen. Now, not to knock ReGen's play at all, they had some excellent macro, as I pointed out, and great draft on top of that. So White Walkers are going to have a great draft, just as good macro, and they did show signs that they could keep up in the teamfight department. So let's jump on in the draft. We are heading on over into. I need to fix the team names. Well, let's improve some of that production value there. All right, there we go. Fix it on up. So we are in the draft with Mayev and Phoenix being banned on out, with Urel getting definitely what qualifies as a good respect ban. And followed up with an Asmodin. So I think those are two very safe bans in general. You can go with Urel, Asmodin, Jimmy. Those are three safe bans you can always do. Now, let's see if they're going to pull out maybe their own Garage this game for ReGen. Infernal Shrines. Now, it's a little harder to properly play, I feel, Garage, largely because there's a lot of shit in his way. When you try to throw something, all of a sudden you're picking up one of the skeletons instead of one of the players because they're on top of you. So I don't think he's necessarily the best on this particular map. And we're going to see a Genji picked up first. So in a lot of games, in a lot of different leagues, Genji is just banned out immediately because you have double the bans now for your first go around. And we're going to see Diablo and Stukov. That's going to bring some pain as they're going to go and wallbang the shit out of potentially Genji. Now, at this point, they could pick up things like a Dahaka. Blaze is available as well for the solo lanes, and they are going to go with the Dahaka. And they've secured that, which means they've also now secured their support. They've gotten kind of the holy trifecta of they got DPS, they got a tank slash solo laner, and they got a support. So banning them is most likely going to be a main tank at this point. Like you ban out a main tank as they have yet to choose one. You can also ban out potentially, another ranged DPS, but you probably are going to ban out a main tank to suit whatever your team comp will be. And so they're opting to ban out the Muradin this team around. Now, I think the Muradin ban is perfectly a solid ban, which is probably, there's a good chance they go for someone like Johanna, depending on if they pick up an auto attacker here on the side of White Walkers. If they don't, there's not as many tanks available who are as solid as a literal tank. So they still might opt for her because she has great wave clear, which also translates into good infernal shrine clear, or the shrine clear. And so finally they are going to pick up Jaina and Sonya. So Sonya is definitely a solid solo laner. I like that. And it's very likely they go with Johanna because Condemn is just like easy peasy interrupt on the Whirlwind. Of course, Whirlwind has like a 2-second time, and they're actually going to go with Anub once again. So Anub is definitely a favorite for him, and it helps him run down the enemy team. Also provides double stun for Sonya, help dive onto Jaina and or Stukov, and finally they will themselves pick up the Hanzo. I'm a little worried about how the damage will go because Hanzo with his scatter arrow, well, it's a lot harder to land without the pierce on the shrine, which means that if he's not hitting them with it, there's almost no DPS coming on in. But we're going to get the Shimada brothers coming on out here. So, you speak any Japanese? I guess ReGen Black is ReGen Tokyo at this point. And finally, we are going to get Greymane. So they got themselves a solo laner, great wave clear, and this is going to be White Walker's biggest advantage. White Walker's biggest advantage is that, well, they have a much better wave clear. They have Jaina, Greymane. On the other side, Hanzo has okay wave clear. It doesn't pick up until level 4. And Genji doesn't have great wave clear either. Alexstrasza is kind of mediocre wave clear. And I mean, Noob is definitely not very good wave clear. So this is looking like a better macro game for the side of White Walkers this time around. They have Greymane who can go and do camps. They have Jaina to keep the lanes cleared. Sonya to solo. And then they can have Stukov and Diablo sit in lane and soak it up. On the other side, they have Hanzo who'll do the murking, while the rest of them are doing what you would expect of sitting in lane and soaking and pushing. All right, guys, let's get on into game number 2. We got Love Not War on Genji. We got Gofti on the Anubarak. Penguin for the win on Hanzo. Buns as a Dahaka. And finally, we have Gatsby as the Alexstrasza. And that'll be a ReGen Black. On the other side, we got Peter on the Diablo. Jurassic on the Jaina. LK Zekin on the Greymane. Asterisk once again on the Stukov. And Aletz on the Sonya. And that is going to be White Walkers. So starting things on off here is going to be your traditional footsie fight in mid. Now, Jaina did pick up her talent. She will go for the Fingers of Frost. Tough as Nails was chosen here as well, which isn't going to get too much value, I feel like. But to be honest, what a lot of people choose it for is, well, you're not autoing very much, especially with Whirlwind. So you might as well take Tough as Nails because you're not going to get in the auto attacks to really make it worthwhile, the War Paint. Other side, we got very nice crisp rotation once again from ReGen, harassing both Peter and Jurassic. We got Asterisk, who will be coming on down, poking and finding Love Not War. In the meantime, we got LK Zekin, who has soaked the top. In the meantime, he will now rotate on down, and everything will be fine and dandy. So, we got Genji just sitting and living the life. We got a double rotation here. LK Zekin, and once again spotted on out. Some DPS there from LK, not fully committing as the deflect is definitely available, and camps are started on up. Both camps are going to be picked up roughly the same time. Like I said, Hanzo doesn't have the wave clear, so they are actually taken roughly the same time, as you can see overall. They pick it up. Peter go on in. A noob is silenced. He will get the burrow and is heavily chunked down though in the meantime. That is one thing they have to be cognizant of. The charge into the overpower into the silence. Doesn't matter if you have an escape. Can't escape if you can't actually use your abilities. Additionally, like I said, their wave clear is much better. So it'll really come down to how much they want to counter push. You can see Asterisk, Jurassic are sitting in mid, pushing that out in the bot lane. However, they are going to lose that Merc camp. Another stun coming on out, and Greymane will help chunk them down. Merc camp is going to be picked up, but it's not really going to do anything. There's no wave there. They have a Jaina, they have a Greymane, so it'll be cleared up real quickly. Additionally, well, they're pretty shitty as a Merc camp. They do very little in comparison to traditional Siege Giants on other maps, and so even though you pick them up, they're pretty much like a delay tactic more so than anything. So What do you get out of it? Very little overall. It's more so like taking away from your opponent and then trying to hope that you can time it perfectly. So they will actually start up on this bruiser camp, which is fantastic because, well, you get this pressure going. However, they didn't start it up soon enough, which means they can start this up and start getting an advantage. However, they've gotten it before White Walker's actually fully committed, which means they will have to rotate someone up there to deal with the camp. And in the meantime, they actually are rotating on back. This is not the best choice, I feel. They're getting their shaman camp, but they've already given up 11 of the skeletons. So they picked up their own, and they'll be able to fully commit. They haven't reached the point where there's no return. They engage onto Genji, no silence, the deflect coming on out, and there's the burrow. But the silence onto Buns. The kill from Alex Straza is good, and LK Zekin has nowhere to go except his own grave. Alez getting body blocked out of his mind. Does have the whirlwind, the execution from Love Not War. The charge from Peter is not going to really do too much, and Peter is next up on the menu for ReGen Black. And that is 3 for nothing, and a Punisher coming right on up. So I also want to point out, this is extremely unfortunate. Their shaman camp didn't do anything. They didn't clear top shaman camp. So this is insane value for ReGen Black right now. They're going to get shaman camp pushing. They got 1 tower. They're working on the next one. They have mid with the Punisher. They got level 7s. They have Genji, who's been doing some soaking to keeping the waves from collapsing onto the towers. And unfortunately, they're not going to get much else with the Punisher. The engage from Gofty. Love Not War coming on in, getting a big strike. And Diablo will be down for the count once again. So they'll be losing this well 100%. And they get some really solid value. Some big plays from ReGen Black. Knowing when to engage. Feeling very confident as a team. Great communication in rotations. Got Love Not War keeping an eye out. He does have the easy escape. They need to be very careful here. There's the engage from a noob. This double stun. LK Zekin does have an easy escape here. Love Not War already using the swift strike. The engage from Peter. The overpower. He has nowhere to go except down for another 20 seconds. So nice counter engage there from White Walkers. Top lane, we got Alette doing some work here, pushing the lane on back in the meantime. Bot lane, we got LK Zekin looking for Penguin's booty, but won't be able to get on it. Instead, he's going to be starting on the Merc camp. He has to be very careful though, but they are actually going to be starting on the Merc camps on their side. So this will be relatively safe for LK Zekin. Peter going on in there, not really going to be getting much of anything. They get the bottom mercs, top or mid mercs have been picked up for ReGen, and top lane is actually in Alet's favor right now. He's winning the 1v1 pretty handedly at this point. He has more whirlwinds, he has the poison spear, he lands that and Dahaka goes down rather quickly. He does have tissue regeneration, which will help him, but it's not going to help enough. Bot lane is cleared up of the mercs. Mid lane's been cleared up of the mercs. The race for 10 is heavily in favor of ReGen Black. There's not much they can do until they hit 10. Sorry, once ReGen Black hits 10, there's not much White Walkers can do. Peter looking for the angle, goes on for Gofty. Gofty will be getting out of dodge, however, as Asterisk does not land the silence before the burrow occurs. In the meantime, we got Alette, who's rotated down to try and get the double soak, rotating on back up, and they should both be 10, or both teams should be 10 for the next objective. So Shrine is 30 seconds. They're a little bit away. This will get them most of the way here. They can pick up their shaman camp, which they will do. Let's should just push and get the soak here to ensure that they're 10. Although the trickle economics should trickle down economics will potentially have gotten them 10 as well. So 10s have been picked up. We have the X Strike. We have the Cleansing Flame, not Lifebinder that a lot of people are going with nowadays. We have the Ring of Frost, The Flailing Swipe, Cursed Bullet, Wrath of the Berserker, no choice yet for, and there we go, Lightning Breath, the stun, the overpower, the Cursed Bullet, and Gofty will have to get out of dodge as they almost execute him there. So he does tap. This is where knowing when to tap and how you can tap is really crucial. 20-6, Dragon Arrow is available, and a really big one. There they go, the overpower. We got the Lightning Breath coming on out, the Ring of Frost, and they have chopped on through them like a blender. But LK Zekin, really low, does get out with the disengage, and it's 33-16. They've only managed to secure 1 kill, and Aletz is going to be actually training out here. So a 1-for-1, and they lose the Punisher once again. ReGen Black looking so clean. They used their combos really well, White Walker, to get the kill, but it didn't matter. They took way too much damage in the process. The burrow onto Peter. There he goes. He's able to walk away, and they will have to give up the rest of this 4. The only upside is they were able to do, a modicum of damage here. It's down to roughly 60% HP at this point. The Punisher, they just need to get it over the wall, and they can have a field day, unless they fully dive in, which would be potentially very scary. So they'll have to be content with just getting a few towers, unless they go full beast mode here, ReGen Black. Now, they are going to have themselves a talent advantage very shortly, continue their macro pressure, pick up Mercamps, and with Love Not War, he's able to just literally spot out any potential engagements. They'll rotate down and rotate over their camp, and really, it's just paint the map blue until the next situation where they can either gank someone or the next objective. Keep their XP lead going, try to get more structures. They're probably not going to get too much more in terms of structures. White Walkers are keeping up with them overall in terms of XP, which is, even though they're falling behind a little bit, it's not to a significant degree where they're out of this game. They just need to win a Punisher, and if they win a Punisher, the collapse coming from ReGen Black, but White Walkers know what's happening here and will just walk away. So they just need to hit 13, and then they can fight on even footing once again. I do think they scale really well, especially with Icy Veins. Oh, Jurassic! Really bad position. The stun onto Ascaris, and say goodbye. The flail only pimp slaps him one time, and clearly ReGen Black is not going to give their pimp any money. So this is probably not a keep, but it could be. Without Stukov here, all damage is permanent damage. No way for them to heal on up, and they just have to be cognizant. So they're just going to walk away. Despite that, they're collapsing onto Sonya. Nice rotation. A lot of damage onto Penguin and Gatsby. And the Whirlwind spin to win, baby. You can't die from that. One person hit from the Ring of Frost. Bun's taking a lot of damage. The overpower onto him. The re-engage. The X-Strike has come on out. Let's re-engaging there. Lightning Breath coming on out. And no one has gone down, but a lot of heroics have been burnt. So this is a pretty even situation overall for both teams in terms of that. 13s were picked up. Ring of Frost was burnt. X-Strike was burnt. Cleansing Flame was burnt. Now, Lightning Breath will be up in 45. Ring of Frost in 44. Wrath of Berserker will be up for the objective. Cursed Bullet's already up. Flailing Swipe's up. So if anyone is down a little bit, it might actually be ReGen Black here between the 45-second and 35-second cooldowns. But we're talking really about 10 seconds that they have to be more cognizant of what's going on. Rotating on up for Buns. No, so 16s will be picked up here. This is where is going to really, really suck. We have Love Not War helping to pressure bottom, getting the soak on in, and they have to give this up or they have to fight immediately. If you're ReGen Black, just soak another wave and then commit to this. You can actually see they're walking away, White Walkers, at this point, knowing that, well, it's not a fight they can take. We do have the Icy Veins available, like I said, a very big talent. Let's take a look at other talents that got picked up. We got One Good Spread, the Long Pitch, which was also changed. And we also have Virulent Reaction, which was not changed. So, White Walkers are doing what they can, trying to soak the lanes, trying to push them in. And at this point, they should try to get this all pushed up, get onto the tower, give up the 4 so they can hit 16 and defend at the keep, because there's a lot of XP for them to get between the wave and the towers. There's a wave mid for them to pick up. There's the bot lane, like I said, that they could push on in with. And so they created enough pressure that Dahaka is bottom, but it's not really going to matter. Bun's dropping a ton of damage onto him. There's a Curse Bullet, but Burrow and Tunneling Claws, yeah, baby, you're not going to touch that, Dahaka. So they're trying to get the XP, like I said, get the tower, and they're about to take themselves to 16. However, they're going to give up this front wall 100%. They're not going to get back in time. Sonya is trying her best to get 16. They're trying to get on back, but Buns is going to come on in, hit LK Zekin, and he won't be able to help with the defense. 16 is still not here. So they need to survive and not die. Gofty could have fully committed there, and I would have liked to see him fully commit there because they have that 16 advantage for that brief window. Additionally, they do have Dahaka. LK Zekin is now in here. Overpower from Peter coming on in. The Ring of Frost capturing one. Deflect on up. The bug has been squashed. Cleansing Flame coming on out. The spin to win. Protect is on up. The arrow from Penguin is going to be sniping. Boom, headshot, baby. And they have traded 1-for-1, which isn't the best for ReGen Black and isn't the best for White Walkers, but when you're down in XP, this will help boost you up to even it out. Now, they get the first keep of the game. They have yet to lose a single fort. They've lost the gate. They've lost some XP on tower, some HP on towers. But all they really lost, they haven't even lost fully the bottom towers. So the race to 20 is heavily in favor of ReGen Black. Now, the Overpower not going to be coming on out onto Love Not War, so he will be walking away. However, there's pretty much zero chance they would have actually gotten that kill without the combination of some wall bangs and a silence and maybe even a cursed bullet simultaneously. ReGen are looking for the ability to rotate on up, check in for the camp. Asterisk will actually spot this out. Very dangerous position, as is Jurassic. Oh my god, Jurassic, say goodbye to him. Oh no, they've been split. Jurassic getting executed by Genji has been sent back to where the dinosaurs are, which is extinct. One thing you have to keep in mind is you don't rotate ahead of your tank. If you're rotating ahead of your tank, that's the situation you put you and your team in. Basically, well, potentially losing you. And losing the Jaina is very crucial to their wave clear and very crucial to, their overall DPS. If we take a quick look in damage numbers, you'll see Jaina has 25k, but it's actually getting out DPS at this point by Sonya. Even Greymane is not putting out significant numbers. It's only at 18k. On the other side, Hanzo is putting out significant numbers, 36k, along with Genji with 35k. Now, 20's been picked up. White Walkers are in a lose-lose situation. If they fight for this, they're pretty much guaranteed to lose. If they don't fight for this, they're pretty much guaranteed to lose. Now, there's no way for White Walkers to hit level 16. This is without a doubt clearly not going to happen unless you live in a fantasy world where White Walkers can time travel and, you know, pause the game in the meantime and also get all that lane XP. So you can see they're trying to get themselves to 20, but there's literally no way to get this without getting 2 waves, a top lane, mid lane, and some towers. They're going to have to fully commit the stun, the overpower, the silence, and they execute Genji. That's exactly what they needed. LKZ, but the beautiful arrow from Penguin. LK Zekin will be getting on now. This is the dream for White Walkers. They're making it happen, baby. They have just gotten themselves 2 kills, and they're looking for more. Jurassic keeping up the chase. The Rue, Buns does get a beautiful grab, but the rest of White Walkers are looking for the booty of Dahaka. The dinosaur getting chased by another dinosaur. So, Sonya is clearing this up. They will be taking pretty much no core damage. They will get their first Punisher, and they might be able to run this down bot lane. So, White Walkers need to have Sonya come immediately, I feel, to get maximum value out of this. They might want to get 1 more catapult and then rotate down. And once they get 1 more catapult, they need to come down 100% to get the value that you would want. This is a nearly 19-minute, 20-minute Punisher, which is something that can end a game. They need to get down the sidewall and get ready to go full beast mode. They have everything almost there, everything up in a second. We have Ring of Frost ready to go. They can fully commit now. They have Sonya ready to go. White Walkers. This is the moment. This is the do or die for White Walkers, I feel like. And how ReGen Black plays this out. The leap, we got nothing from White Walkers, and we got the Worgen for him. We got Wrath coming on out. The engage from Aletz. He will back on out for now. And they have a nearly 50% Punisher on the core. This is going to be it. There's the stun. The silence coming out. The arrow. The execution. Double hit there. Aletz, though, spinning to win as best as they can. Hanzo has gone down. The damage on the core is not quite enough. We got the flailing swipe in action. Diablo. We got the blizzard. The alley-oop. But it's not going to be good enough. Hanzo's the only one down. Core is down to 60% and falling. Asterisk trying his best. Aletz trying his best. 40%. And it's not going to be good enough as they managed to take out 2 out of 3 members, and they're looking for the 4th. Jurassic, not going to be long for this world, and now they're going to go and try and end this game in the top lane. Diablo needs to run, interrupt their mount, try and delay this. This is literally the only way they could win this at this point for White Walkers. And unfortunately, he's just clearing up some catapults, and this is going to be it. There's the stun, the overpower, not going to happen. Peter trying his best. There's the double stun. He's going to be walking away. Not today. The X strike, he does delay him, but it's not going to be enough time. We have catapults coming on in. Only 1 right now, but there's a full squad here with 3 catapults ready to go. And ReGen Black almost through the game. Or almost lost the game, came away with the core save, and they will take this series 2-0. All right, guys. That was one hell of a series. We had Genji and Hanzo topping that DPS. 55, almost 55k, 51k. We got the 46, 47k, 41, 42k Jaina. And taking a look at some of the healing, Hanzo just doing so much work there in terms of healing output. The flailing swipe getting some good value, and the Ring of Frost from Jurassic helping to really secure some crucial kills later in that game. Unfortunately, they weren't able to pull out the big W there with the the comeback story. But White Walkers definitely show they have what it takes. They can stay in the game. They can play rather smart. They know what they generally see what Regen Black is going to do. They just need to be able to execute better, and they could compete with Regen Black in general. All right, guys, we're going to hop into a quick interview and sit on tight.